All right, let's jump right in. We're going to pull back the curtain on a force that's so powerful it literally organizes our entire world. But here's the thing. It's almost completely invisible. It decides how everything works, from your phone to the entire global economy.
Just let that sink in for a minute. Silent agreements. These are the unwritten, unspoken rules that we all live by, and it turns out they're the absolute bedrock of our modern world.
I mean, think about a traffic light. You see one every single day, right? Red, yellow, green. It's a simple, universal language we all understand. It stops us from crashing into each other, it turns total chaos into order, and we don't even have to think about it. That is the power of a standard.
So what is a standard, really? Well, at its heart, it's just a shared rule. It's a promise, an agreement we've all made that a kilogram in Tokyo is the same as a kilogram in Toronto, that your new charger will actually fit your phone, or that the medicine you take is safe. They build trust into the system.
Now, if you want to see the most powerful example of a standard in history, we need to talk about something you've probably seen a million times and never thought twice about: a simple steel box.
The impact here is it's mind-blowing. Before the 1950s, shipping was a chaotic, expensive nightmare. Then, one guy standardized the container. The ISO made the rules global, and boom, global trade exploded. In just 20 years, this one simple standard did more to boost trade than most free trade deals combined. It literally built the modern economy.
Okay, so we get it. These silent agreements are a huge deal. But what are they actually doing? Well, you can boil it all down to 3 core jobs that basically act as a blueprint for how our world functions.
First, they make sure measurement is consistent. Without it, global commerce would just grind to a halt. Second, compatibility. This is the magic that lets you buy any brand of USB-C cable and just know it's going to work. And third, they define quality. They set the bar for safety and performance so we can actually trust the stuff we buy and use every day.
So, measurement, compatibility, and quality. They're the pillars of trust for our physical world. But what happens when we take those same ideas and apply them to something way more abstract and way more high stakes? What about the system that moves trillions of dollars around the planet every single day?
To really get how that much money moves across borders, you have to understand its language, the standard that makes it all possible. And that brings us to a little thing called SWIFT. Now, SWIFT isn't a bank. It doesn't actually hold or send any money. Think of it more like the ultra-secure encrypted text messaging service for the world's banks. It's how they talk to each other to arrange payments. It is the absolute nerve center of global finance.
And the scale is just staggering. We're talking more than 11,000 banks, all over the world, all plugged into this one network, all speaking the same language to make sure money gets where it's supposed to go.
You see, for that whole system to work, every single transaction has to use that common language. And for decades, the language of SWIFT was a format called MT.
But here's the catch. The world moves a lot faster now, and it's all about data. That old MT language, well, it just can't keep up. That's why, right now, the entire global financial system is in the middle of a massive, once-in-a-generation upgrade.
And that upgrade has a name: ISO 2022. Starting in 2025, the whole financial world is switching to this new standard. And let me be clear, this isn't some minor update. It's a completely new, much more powerful language for money.
This is the perfect way to think about it. The old language, MT, was like sending a telegram. Short, kind of cryptic, not a lot of detail, and plenty of room for error. This new standard, ISO 20022, is like a super detailed, intelligent digital form. It's packed with rich, structured data so there's no confusion.
So why does this matter? Well, all that rich data means better transparency. You can track payments like you track a package. It means compliance checks and sanction screening can be automated, making the whole system way safer. It just makes everything faster and more accurate. And it paves the way for all kinds of future innovation.
So this whole migration isn't just a tech story. It's a perfect example of a much bigger idea. For countries and banks, adopting a new standard like this isn't just about ticking a compliance box. It's about staying connected to the global economy. It's where you see that standards aren't a burden. They're a springboard to growth.
In fact, the World Bank says that for developing countries, getting good at standards is one of the clearest pathways to economic growth. It's how you plug into the global supply chain, how you attract investment, and how you build trust in your products.
And they've laid out a pretty clear roadmap. You start by adapting the global standards to your own local reality.
As your economy grows, you start to align your markets with those international rules. And then the final and most important step, you become an author. You're no longer just following the rules, you're at the table helping to write them.
And this is a proven playbook. You can see the trajectory right here. It's the journey from being a standard taker to a standard maker. It's exactly how some countries have become the economic and technological powerhouses they are today.
It really all boils down to this incredible quote from the 19th century that's more true today than ever. Who owns the standards, owns the market. In the global economy, standards aren't just technical details. They're about strategic advantage. Defining the rules of the game gives you a massive edge.
Which brings us right back to today. Our biggest challenges, things like AI, climate change, you name it, they all demand new kinds of global cooperation. They all require new standards, new silent agreements. So the question we're left with is this: what are the next silent agreements we need to build? And, more importantly, who's going to get to write the rules?